They didn't carve his name in marble. They didn't raise banners when he walked in. They didn't say, "Here comes greatness." They said he won't make it. Too soft-spoken, too calm, too new, too black. And yet the man who once carried no name lit a fire that circled the globe. Because Barack Obama didn't wait for permission. He commanded chaos. He used the noise, the doubt, the pain as bricks for a legacy that would outlive critics, polls, and presidencies. This isn't about politics. This is about power. The power of vision when the world sees none. The power of character when cameras go dark. The power of belief when all you've got left is belief. He walked into crowded rooms of polished men with perfect pedigrees and held his ground with a calm sharper than their steel. Because when the storm came, Obama didn't flinch. He listened. He learned. He moved. Not like a hurricane, but like a tide, steady, patient, and unstoppable. His rise wasn't a miracle. It was a method. He studied the game, not to play it, but to change it. He understood what too many ignore. That chaos isn't a curse. It's raw material. It's clay in the hands of those who dare to sculpt their story. He wasn't born with a silver spoon, but with a silver voice sharpened by truth. He didn't inherit a throne. He earned a seat at the world's toughest table by showing up over and over again when it would have been easier to walk away. He failed, yes. He lost, yes. He was underestimated, absolutely. But he kept showing up, not because the odds changed, but because he did. And that's the truth no one wants to admit. You don't need permission to lead. You don't need applause to act. You don't need peace to begin. Sometimes you must command the chaos. Speak with conviction when your voice trembles. Move with grace when your heart pounds. Stand with fire, even when you stand alone, because leaders aren't built in comfort. They are carved in conflict. They are tested in silence. They are defined by what they do when no one is watching. And if you think you need a title to matter, remember, Obama's name meant nothing to history books until he wrote his own chapter. He could have stayed quiet, could have played safe, could have stayed local, but he didn't. He chose the long road, the lonely road, the road with no GPS, no guarantees, and no guardrails. And every step he took was a message to those behind him. If I can rise from no name to flame, so can you. Because power isn't granted. It's earned in the shadows. Influence isn't bought. It's forged in resistance. And legacies? They don't fall from the sky. They rise from the soil, watered by failure, strengthened by doubt, and illuminated by purpose. You want to build legacy? Then stop waiting for peace. Stop waiting for clarity. Start moving while it's messy. Start building while they mock you. Start believing when only you believe. Barack Obama didn't walk into history with a crown. He walked in with questions, a battered heart, and a fire inside that refused to dim. He wasn't chosen by destiny. He chose to rise. And so can you. Every empire starts with whispers. Every revolution begins in silence. And every legacy is born in a moment when no one claps, but you keep going anyway. Barack didn't have an army. He didn't have wealth. He had a story. A fractured, complicated, beautifully human story. A story of a boy born to a white mother from Kansas and a black father from Kenya. A story of identity, of searching, of never quite fitting in. But instead of hiding it, he owned it. Instead of shrinking, he expanded. Because when you embrace your scars become your script. And people follow the script that feels like their own reflection. He wasn't perfect, but he was real. And in a world drowning in noise, real cuts through. He knew the rules, but he didn't bow to them. He studied the greats Lincoln, Ken, Kennedy, not to copy their voice, but to find his own. He didn't build bridges by compromising his soul. He built them by staying rooted in values while stretching toward vision. That's the tightrope every leader walks, balancing what is with what could be. Most fall, he didn't, because his strength wasn't just intellect. It was emotional gravity. He could stand still and move millions, not by screaming louder, but by speaking deeper. And you can do the same. You don't need to become Obama, but you do need to become undeniable. And that means facing your chaos with command. That means burning your excuses at the altar of discipline. That means outlasting the voices in your head that say, "Who do you think you are? Who are you? You are the chaos commander. You are the dream maker. You are the unseen giant building a future no one believes in yet." They laughed at Elon Musk when he said he'd land rockets vertically. They doubted Edison after 1,000 failed filaments. They mocked Oprah Winfrey when she said she'd create her own network. But history doesn't remember the mockery. It remembers the monument. So let them laugh, let them doubt, let them misunderstand, because the path to greatness is paved with misunderstanding. Barack didn't rise because the world was ready. He rose because he was. He didn't wait for the climate to be perfect. He changed the climate. He didn't ride the wave, he became the wave. And here's your truth. You were not born to repeat history. You were born to remake it. You were not designed to survive chaos. You were built to command it. But that requires more than goals. It requires grit. It requires standing tall on the days you want to crawl. It requires taking the shot when your hands shake. It requires walking alone before they walk with you. And when they don't, you keep walking. Because legacy isn't about fame. It's about impact. It's not about how loud your name echoes. It's about how deeply your life roots in others. Barack Obama planted seeds in soil most never dared to touch. He turned pain into purpose, doubt into direction, and fear into fuel. And now the question is not, can you be like him? The question is, will you dare to be fully, fearlessly, fiercely you? Will you step into your chaos and command it? Will you stop waiting to be chosen and choose yourself? Because no one is coming to crown you. No one is handing you a legacy. It's yours to build. From the ashes of failure, from the noise of critics, from the fire in your gut that says, I will not die with this power still inside me. You were not born to blend in. You were born to blaze, to walk through storms with unshakable calm, to carry a voice that turns doubt into dust, to build a life that becomes a lighthouse for generations. Barack Obama didn't rise alone. He rose on the shoulders of dreams, on the backs of ancestors, on the belief that even when the odds scream impossible, faith whispers, try anyway. And now it's your turn. Command your chaos. Write your legacy. Turn your no name into a flame. Because history is not made by the loudest voice. It's made by the one who refuses to stay silent. So when the world tells you that your name doesn't matter, when it tries to define you by your flaws, your fears, or your failures, you don't raise your voice in defense. You raise your standard in silence. Because real power isn't proven by noise. It's revealed in what you endure and still choose to build. Barack Obama did not ascend by shouting in every room. He listened, he learned, and then he led. He became the storm not by creating chaos, but by commanding it. He studied the winds of history, the temperature of division, and with unwavering calm, he charted a course through fire. What does that mean for you? It means you don't wait for the world to invite you in. You walk forward even when the door is still closed, because you were never meant to knock. You were meant to build your own entrance. Speak even if your voice trembles. Act even if the ground shakes. Lead even if your shadow feels larger than your name. You are not here to play small in the mirror of someone else's fear. You are here to stand, to serve, to carve your initials on the walls of time with every choice you make. This is not about perfection. It never was. It's about purpose sharpened through pain. It's about vision born in chaos. It's about a voice your voice, rising in a world desperate for truth, for integrity, for courage. When they said he couldn't win, he didn't argue, he prepared. When they said America wasn't ready, he didn't retreat, he rose. And when the impossible stared him down, he didn't blink. He became the proof that history bends, but only when someone dares to push. So now it's your turn, your moment. You're called to command chaos, to build legacy, to ignite the flame no one saw coming. Not with noise, but with conviction. Not with ease, but with endurance. The world doesn't need another follower. It needs another fire starter. And whether your name echoes in stadiums or whispers in homes, what matters is that you live it loud. You are not invisible. You are inevitable. Now rise